All right, I believe I am live. I'm just going to do a quick check in the spots that this is supposed to be pushing to. That's live out on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. I won't do this in future live streams. It's just being brand new to it. I want to make sure I'm doing everything correct. All right, so we're going to go over the 24-hour event results for KCT kayak fishing tournaments. I am using the StreamYard interface, so you'll see we have one little logo right now. Normally, the interface has all of our sponsors. It's important to rep your sponsors, but I do think StreamYard's better. I can put banners and layouts in the future, so I'm going to figure that out. But real quick, plug the sponsors. National. I am either a spot. They either sponsor or I'm on their pro staff. You have Catfish Clothing. Use code kayak20 at their website for 20% off. Us personally, if you want to support us personally, kayak catfishing tournaments.store that supports the anglers. We have sandydrifters.com. Use code kayak15 that supports. He is an actual sponsor. The top two non-cashing participants in our month-long open event, they win a pack of Sandy Drifters. That's over a $350, $400 commitment he made to us this year. I am on the Jackson Regional Fishing Team, so if you have any questions, Jackson products, just let me know. Or if you're looking to get in the kayak fishing, Jackson products are hard to beat. And last but not least, who else? I'm doing all this off the top of my head. If I missed you, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure that nails mostly everybody. Going into and then for the regional east side, we're gonna bring it up real quick. Not the regional, I'm sorry, for the Scioto River tournament. Right here, East Side Bait and Tackle, live bait, 694 Eastern Ave, Chillicothe, Ohio. Their phone number is 740-656-2183. They put up a $20 in-store credit to the first non-cashing participant of the Scioto 24-hour event this past weekend. All right, going into the results. The 24-hour tournament at the national scene, there were 10 anglers. Looks like Dan Scioto was the winner. All these payouts are done, by the way. I just finished them all a second ago. Dan Scioto was the winner at 100.75 inches amongst his three biggest fish. Then you had Alex Kobe. I want to say Kobe's. I'm from 30 minutes away from where Kobe grew up, so I'm going to call him Alex Kobe's. If it's Kobe's, I apologize, or Kobe's, I apologize, but I'm going to say Kobe's. Alex Kobe's finished in second, 92.25. It was his first time participating in the event. He did an awesome job. Donald Burnett finished in third with a 74.5 three fish bag. This event paid out three positions. Yes. And big fish was Dan Scioto at 37 inches. So let's take a look at some of these fish here. Here's Dan Scioto's biggest fish at 37. It's a monster. Fish. Let's see here. Here's a 36 incher. Very nice. Let's go over to Alex's first fish, 32 inches. Very good. I'm going to pick on Alex here for 1 second, just because this is a great example. So he was using the Rapala board, and he actually has it mounted. This is one of the best mounts I've seen for a Rapala board out there. But this fish submission, I think he submitted at like 31 or 30.75. For guys using the Rapala board going forward, you only get credit for the farthest length that the fish is touching the measuring device. So I reduced this down to 30.25. It didn't change any bearing in the tournament, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I did want to put that little teaching tip out there. So guys using Rapala, it is the farthest. It's any board. It's not just a Rapala. If you're using a catch board and you have fish fall over, the longest point touching your catch board, touching your musky bumper, touching your whatever measuring device you're using, it's the farthest touching the measuring device itself. All right, that's just a little education for the whole scene. And those examples, they come every tournament, so it is what it is. And moving on, Donald Burnett's big fish was 25.25. Looks like he had a Channel Rat Fest fish, 25.25. Very good. All right. Oh, they're down here. Fight Tech Cast Nets. I didn't miss anybody really. Okay, good. Never lost anchors. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Dan Rimmer. He's one of the coolest dudes in the industry. If you need a kayak anchor, go get his kayak anchor. It holds me in upwards of 3.5, 4 mile an hour current in the Ohio River. All right, moving on. Scioto River 24-hour event this past Saturday. We had 8 anglers. It's the first event of its kind. East Side Live Bait Shop. I can't pronounce that. I apologize. They were the first sponsors ever. They jumped right in. They gave $20 to the first non-cashing participants. The top 2 cashed. There was a big fish, and then third place got the $20 in-store credit. So Chris Minahan, he took this home with the win at 129.75 inches. Second place was Eric Jacobs at 117.5 inches. And the reason he beat Dwayne Frazier for second place was our tiebreaker is biggest fish. So if you look at Eric Jacobs' biggest fish here, it's 25.5. Dwayne Frazier's biggest fish is 25 even. So that's how tiebreakers are decided in our scene. If they were tied at the first big fish, then we would move down to the second big fish, and so on and so forth until you get a winner. That plays a big factor in slot tournaments. The first slot tournament we ever held, that was a max slot tournament. We had 2 guys tied all the way to the fifth fish. The fifth fish actually decided who won that tournament. Aaron Grubb, this was neat. Very rare do you get an entire tournament to have every single person catch and submit a fish. Aaron Grubb came in fourth at 109.75. Brandon Hunter came in fifth at 105.75. Josh Schneider in sixth at 69.75. Tyler Lowe in seventh at 61.25. And Paige Guard in eighth at 39.25. That is an awesome showing by this entire field, especially given their conditions. They weren't completely blown out, but the conditions. I went live during their event. They had some pretty tough conditions, and every single one of them put fish on the board. So that's really impressive. We're gonna go over the payouts now for both of those events. Let's go here. So I black out, for anyone who's new, I black out the actual names. You can go do the math yourself. You can figure out who won what money. But I black the names out just because I just don't like having the names directly associated with the amount of money that they won on screen. Green means I paid them out. Yellow means that I am working with them to have it paid out, or there's been some sort of mutual agreement for something else. So all the payouts are done. First place for the 24-hour national event was 164.08. Second place was 70.32. Third place was money back at $40. Money back for us, since Big Fish is mandatory. You get your Big Fish and your entry fee back, not just your entry fee. And then the Big Fish was $100. I just realized I don't think I went over Big Fish. I think I just ruined somebody's shine here. I went over Dan's Big Fish. Big Fish for the Scioto River tournament was Tyler Lowe at 35.75, and it was a monster flathead. Let's take a look at it. Here we go. They're so pretty. That's what I'm talking about. That's a musky bumper that I'm talking about. Mine's super dirty too, so they never stay clean. All right, back to the payouts. Sorry about that. I got sidetracked. Yeah, Big Fish for National was $100. Since there was between 9 and 14 anglers, you can see the payout system down here, 70% to first place, 30% to second place. That's after we give money back. All the formulas are within the payouts. Over to Scioto River, the June. Actually, let's zoom in a little bit so it's bigger on StreamYard. Okay, there we go. Here is the June event over here. You can see you had 8 anglers, $30 entry, $28.75. Hit my checking account, which means $10 to Big Fish, $18.75 to the pot. First place won $120, and I'll explain what's happening there in a second. Second place won $30. Third place won $20, and Big Fish won $80. First place, so next month we are going to add an additional payout spot to win your money back. So hypothetically speaking, let's say there's 8 anglers next month. Third and second will win their money back, and first place will win 100%. Chris is donating his winnings to the next tournament. So we're going to add an additional money winning back spot. So anytime there's less risk to lose your money, there's more incentive to participate. So we're going to have another money back spot, and we're going to spread the rest of the $90 out amongst all the cashing participants. And I'm going to be working with Eastside Bait to see if they're going to hop in the next tournament, the amount, etc. All right, payouts are done. Moving on, we're going to go over to current standings for the national. We'll do regional first. So I finally updated the regional. The regional standings normally get updated on the 10th and then are updated every few days after that until the month is over. It is your two biggest fish, and your three fish closest to but not breaking 25 inches. Our identifier for the regional month long is America number 1. It is Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky only. You don't have to be a resident of those states, but you have to catch fish in those states' waters. Reciprocal waters are allowed, but you have to be like if you're on Kentucky-Tennessee border, you got to be where it's clearly touching Kentucky and Tennessee. You can't go fish Lake Barkley or whatever it is and be 10 miles into Tennessee. You still got to be on the Kentucky side. So Brandon Hunter is currently in first place at 142.5 inches. Aaron Krebs in second at 132.25. And Morgan McMillan is in third right now with 100 inches. I just updated this now, so if anyone sees fish that I missed, just let me know. I can go have them added. I would show you those fish, but that would involve me going to Facebook. And since this is a live stream, I cannot risk going to Facebook and one of my chats popping up and having it offend somebody. Now we're going to move over to national month-long standings. National month-long, we had 4 anglers participate. Summer months sometimes can get rough because of spawn and etc. Dan Shad is currently in first with 277.25 inches, 43-inch big fish. I'm currently in second at 170.25. Ryan Bortz is in third with 132, and Clint Seeger's in fourth with 48 inches. Let's take a look at Dan's 43-incher here. That's a hog. That's so big. Also, you might notice there's only a single identifier here, and you're going to see multiple anglers and multiple events using a single identifier. What I started doing when I set up the identifier, I'm setting up identifiers to be one word essentially. That way you only have to have one identifier out there for every single tournament you're in. It's kind of a pain to remember to update all of your identifiers and or have a piece of paper out there big enough to have 3, 4, 5, 6 identifiers for a tournament. So instead, there were 3 tournaments going on: FEE, FEES, and FEESH. If you just had the word fish on one identifier, it covered you for every single tournament. So I think that's a much more efficient way to do it. Moving down, 42.5-incher from Dan as well. That one's a little less thin, but still a hog. That's awesome. Go over to my 31-inch channel. That does not count. Oh no, that counts for the slot. Never mind. This does not count for the regional because I forgot the regional. Identifier in a lot of my fish this month so far. And moving over to Ryan Bortz, 23.25. He's having a dink fest right now over at Taylorsville. And Clint Seeger has 24 inches with his big one right here. Great sticker. That's a fantastic sticker. I think we're going to try and figure out some kind of incentive program for anyone who puts a sticker on their board for their submissions. Stay tuned. Moving on to the national slot. The national slot had 9 anglers this month. Let's go to the leaderboard. Currently leading is Dan Scioto at 146 inches. Second place is Nick Lockaby. I hope I pronounced that right. He is another new angler at 145.75 inches. And currently sitting in third is Justin Schuerman at 144.25. A lot of really good fish. I haven't really had a chance to go judge it. Real life has called into me, and I am back in the office full time. So I have to do these things on the weekends. So there's a good chance at the end of the tournaments when I'm going to do the majority of the judging. However, if I do see a perfect fish out here, I more than likely will judge it ahead of time. You don't want to be waiting the entire month on a perfect fish, and then out of nowhere, maybe it's not a legal fish and it's off the board and you drop a few positions. That would be a heartbreak to find out at the end of the tournament. So if I see a perfect fish or something close to a perfect fish, I'll judge that early, but otherwise I'll probably judge all the fish at the end. But yeah, Out of the 9 anglers, we have what? 8 that are already completely filled their bag. That's awesome. That's awesome. Participation numbers are up. I will not go into Catfish King on this one. We're already 15 minutes into it. Plus, I'll make that into a special video itself. We have 11 contestants, I believe, completely confirmed for Catfish King. I can show you the Catfish King pot. Actually, I just know it off the top of my head. The Catfish King pot is $128. And hold on one second. I meant to have this ready. I meant to have this ready ahead of time, but I forgot. The Catfish King is winning this belt, but if you can see, it's gold plated and it's kind of white lettering. I did not like that. So the company I was working with sent me black plates with white lettering. I am going to change out the gold for the black. It looks a lot better on the black. So the winner of the Catfish King will be getting this belt. It'll be a traveling belt. Whoever wins the first Catfish King will hold on to this until the second Catfish King is crowned, and then I will send them the money to mail the belt to the next Catfish King. This is a legitimate belt. It's the kind you see like at the WWE and stuff. It's not cheap. Let me say that. So, all right, Kayak Mike out of here. Thank you everyone for participating, and I will get another video up for the Catfish King in the relative near future.